What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight for a special Father's Day stream wrapping up this week. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and of course, hop into our Discord. The link for that's in the description box down below. And as we get rolling here tonight, guys, of course, we have some Cowboy news and updates. A few little personal MCF updates for the next few days at least. So make sure to stay tuned for that as well.
Yeah.
But first, baby, before we touch on all of that, we have a few things to touch on first, like the shout-outs for the people
in the house
who help make MCF happen here on the daily and the nightly. Thank you very much to our sponsor of the week. A big mahalo to Mark Hovsepian.
Hell yeah, Mark H. from Hawaii repping it. The all-time record holder in streaks. He's repping it, starting a new streak, right? Or is it going to be a back-to-back? Because he's the leader right now on the overall board. So if he holds it down tonight, he's got about a 15, 16-point lead over Snug X in second place. So Mark will go back-to-back. We'll see. He's also got 62 points on that stream boss.
That's right.
In that orange-yellowish kind of line right there. We also have Snug X, who's the Cash App King. But first, the man who always stays skeptical. Much love to our... Listen, yeah, this guy last month dominated in gifting memberships. You just saw that right now. Jonathan Brown, the lucky winner, recipient of a free membership here for a month. You can add on to it. You can continue it. You can upgrade. But Jonathan Brown, much love to him. And extra special thanks to Skeptical Fan, who's now gifted his 30th membership of this month.
Ooh, huge shout out to you, Skeptical Fan. Much love.
First thing, this started last month for the first time. He had 24 last month. He has 30 already this month. Much love to the man staying skeptical. Another one. Another gifted membership. The leader there, the winner last month. You know, we got about 10 days left or so in the month. Maybe less because we won't be even live. Skeptical Fan inside track over Jason Renfro for that top spot once again for back-to-back months possibly. Said back-to-back. Mark Hovsepian. Back-to-back could be in the store for Snug X, who's currently leading Jason Renfro in the Cash App this week. But Snug X, you know why he's here. He's here repping the Cash App crown from last week. This week he's repping it the entire week. And just a reminder, whoever wins the Cash App and Sponsor of the Week boards, 2 straight weeks this time. It's different this time. 2 straight weeks of representation. And hey, if Snug X gets it, it's back-to-back. If Mark Hovsepian gets the Sponsor of the Week, it's back-to-back. We shall see what happens tonight. Right here live with the cameras on My Cowboys Family.
And of course, as we get rolling here tonight, guys, there's another shout out we have to do with the pre-stream drop of love from Dwayne Broussard, a classic $2 holla Go Cowboys.
Hell yeah, the top dog, much love. He also dropped a $2 thanks to Go Cowboys in an earlier video from today from Micah Parsons. If you have not seen that, check it out on our standalone video. We got shorts describing what's going on. Your voice in there too. So let us know what you think on that. But yes, much love to the man, the top dog, Dwayne Broussard, for his 2 earlier and his 2 now in pre-stream, as he's still in 4th place on the overall board right now. So much love. Skeptical Fan in 3rd, Snug X in 2nd, and Mark Hovsepian on the overall 1st. Okay, I'm done. Because as members, again, you got the super chats. You can drop the love here, so show your support on the channel that way. There's memberships, of course. You can join the membership. You can also gift memberships once you're in the membership. Always to help the channel, help the family. Others in the chat here getting their memberships. Appreciate the gifting. But there's other ways to support the channel, baby, outside of the 3 ways I just mentioned. And there's 4 other ways, you know, which kind of the first 3 out of the 4 you can see on the list is basically the Cash App King. You see Snug X repping it there. So what are the other 4 ways to help the channel if you guys feel like, you know?
Of course, you have the Cash App there, money sign My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and of course, last but not least, the Streamlabs lets your comment show up right here on screen like a super chat.
Oops, sorry about that. Yep. So 100%, that's the way you do it. And a lot of you guys help this, you know, the channel out through these ways, you know, in the last couple of months. So again, back on track here in May, really back on track here in June as we get ready for July and training camp, baby. Here, another Cowboys chat. I'm ready to discuss a couple of very important things. Dak, Tony Pollard, and the defense that's coming, the chaos we're bringing. Well, we'll explain that in a minute. And also a very, very, very happy Father's Day to everybody in the house. We'll say it once again, but baby, who is in the house right now?
We have Lost in Translation podcast. What's up? Much love. Skeptical Fan always. Staying skeptical. He's all about the emojis.
Much love.
So thank you, Skeptical. Really appreciate it.
I think we're at 60 memberships right now.
Yeah, so I think
record high for the channel.
When we come back, we'll be able to add Another emoji, no?
No, I think we still... Listen, they up these numbers big, so I think the next one's like 15 away. 15 more memberships, I know. So it might be tough to get that with some...
Either way, we'll keep a few of rotation, of course. We have Swertin in the house, hello and hi.
Swertin, part of the membership, right?
House Nelson, much love. Yes, he is.
In the house.
Snug X, you know why he's here.
Always.
Jonathan Brown, the lucky gifted membership winner there.
Yeah.
Texas Twister, what's up? Stay safe out there on the road. Sean Hopkins, hello and hi. Thomas Garrett, the superior. Garrett. Matt Persico, what's up? We have Mike Aldana in the house.
Mike Aldana,
appreciate you.
Mr. Persico, Thomas Garrett. Man, got some bomb people in the house.
Going back. Let me see who else is here. Of course, Dwayne Broussard, the
DB,
top dog.
the OG, top dog.
Freedom First.
Was he first tonight?
Hello. I don't think he was. I think Snug was first.
Ooh, Snug.
Yes, Snug was first.
And now, they'll go anybody else?
No, I think that's everybody here. So, of course, baby, we have to represent here on this Sunday stream on this Father's Day, right?
Staying skeptical with the hat.
Yes,
staying skeptical with the shirt.
Style. I will say,
fan,
I actually was trying to wear the other shirt, but I found this one first. So we went this one first.
There we go. I'm repping it. Skeptical fan style, you know. I mean, we do appreciate the love you guys give us through whichever way, whether it's dropping it there in the chat, super chats, memberships, but also, of course, you know, just the things you guys send us. We use it in the channel, interacting in the channel. Even the drawing we got from Skeptical Fan. We got other stuff from you guys from over the years. So we appreciate everybody. We do rep it when we, once in a while we'll rep your lovely gifts and cowboy representation that you send in to us. So appreciate you guys. Mark, I know he's done a lot as well. You guys are fantastic. Thank you for the family. Just extra special thanks on that side. And extra special happy Father's Day to all the great dads out there. I hope everyone's all the dads having a great day. Had a great day today and a great weekend, in general.
Yes, and of course, happy Father's Day to you, baby.
Thank you. Thank you, baby.
So I hope you had a good Father's Day.
Fantastic.
Was it good?
Yes.
You had fun?
And tomorrow we start a little family vacation, so I guess that's kind of the Father's Day, flavor there. A little summer break, for the kids, of course, but also the wife, myself.
Yes, a little bit different though. We were a little bit more in touch on our last family. Transfer, but on our last family vacation, I think it, obviously we were a little bit more in touch. We won't be live for the next 4 or 5.
Wait, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night we'll be back live. That's the plan, at least.
Yes, that's why I said maybe. So we'll have to see there.
But there will be special quickies.
Yes.
By the wife. Over the next 4 days. We were trying to sneak in a couple extra ones, but we had Jordan Lewis yesterday, Micah Parsons today, so we don't want to overload you guys. Save it for the break and even afterwards while we're out of town a little bit.
And again, just like in those videos, make sure to comment in the section, or drop a comment in the comment section of those videos. Let me know what your thoughts are and things like that. Because again, I'm hoping to do something with that, once all of the Cowboy Quickies are out there.
Yeah. There's still, we got 2 down. There's actually 7 to go. And I have a blooper reel. I was gonna put up. I don't know if I'll do it. I don't know if I'll have a chance to do it. But
it was authorized by me.
Yes, and that'll be at the end. That'll be the bonus at the end. The bonus little extra special one that everyone's gonna love. I know the family here. Maybe it's people that just coming here for cowboy content only. They might not give a crap.
Fine.
Anybody who knows the wife knows to watch that. So yes, happy Father's Day, by the way, to all the great moms out there that do. I know you hate that, but I say anyway because some moms are.
Today's not about.
I know, but it happens both ways. It happens this way too. So it's still great to see everybody pushing a helping hand there. So now,
if that's the case, go make me a sandwich. All right, let's go ahead kick it off in the Cowboys side of things, the NFL side of things.
Yeah,
football,
Huggins. I know we had a basketball coach, Huggins, right? That from I think it was West Virginia coach. I mean, he drove over 3 state lines. It's horrible. I shouldn't be laughing because he was DUI, drunk driving, crazy situation. He just resigned, basically fired, resigned, retired. And then we're looking at baseball and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Their bus driver for their team was arrested for DUI while transporting the team between cities.
That's not good.
Another story similar to that, right? To the one with Huggins there. So a bus driver contracted by the Pittsburgh Pirates baseball team was charged with DUI. He was pulled over by transporting the team to the game against the Cubs at Chicago. That was the drive there where he got pulled over. The driver was not affiliated. Again, he was not affiliated with the team, but he was hired by the team in that sense. Pulled over by state troopers. It's about 25 minutes away from Wrigley Field there in Chicago on Thursday evening. And the bus was transporting, the players from Chicago to Milwaukee. So it was just when they were leaving town, it looks like there.
Yeah, I was going to say, they'd just taken off.
And they were traveling with a police escort at the time. The driver is drunk. The bus driver is drunk as a police escort,
Do you
right?
think the police escort is who pulled him over?
I mean, it was a state trooper, they say. So the Illinois State Police, indicted the driver, 61-year-old Ronald Funderburk, Shelby, North Carolina. And again, they were not following the escort. When he saw that the cops saw that the state trooper saw that he was displaying multiple signs of impairment while driving. Police reported that they initially had believed the driver was having a medical emergency of some sort.
Jeez.
Before it was determined he was driving under the influence of alcohol. Thankfully, no one was hurt.
So the trooper was actually like, oh crap, this guy's like having a heart attack driving this bus.
They thought that there was something
that
was swerving. They thought it was a team bus. They didn't think it would be a drunk driver. Again, they were swerving because he was drunk, and they thought initially it was an issue with his health or some kind of heart attack situation, stroke,
really
seizure. Crazy, unfortunate situation for the players, and it could have been worse. Thankfully, no one was hurt. That's number one. Thankfully, we got the man, Snug X, in the house, dropping that $10 holler. Yes, coming through. And by the way, with that drop, he takes Mark Hovsepian 52 points, but the key here, I don't know if Snug X cares, but he's 6 away from passing Mark Hovsepian on the overall board right now as we speak. Let me just double check that.
And I appreciate that, Snug.
Oh, wait, let me make sure of that. I don't want to say something wrong here.
Okay, you go ahead and double check that. But thank you, Snug. I appreciate the lovely
He's
comment.
16. I'm sorry, I was off 10. He's 16 away from. I'm sorry about that. He's 16 away from passing. At this point, he's 16. It was 26 away. I didn't realize Mark had added some love there from 2 nights ago. But I got to check my records, right? So I'm going to make sure I get shit right. Thank you, Snug. Appreciate you. We know why. He's dropping the love. And yes, baby, you are beautiful. Always beautiful. I mean. She does. We come styling and profiling here for you guys.
But today I'm more in the,
Again, it was a busy day, Father's Day, packing.
Yeah, my
for a couple
hair's
things with the family,
wet,
coordinating.
This is the best I can do because I do have to blow dry it after the stream. So this is.
We still got some
I
things
guess
to do.
I just say this is the local repping and a little more.
A little chill.
Makeup free because
a little chill, friend.
I already did the skincare for the night. So
a little chill Father's Day Sunday here, right? So again, I hope everybody did have a great one with your dads. If you're not a dad, then spend it with your dads, granddads, whatever.
So all the fathers and father figures out there who are coming through for all the children.
Yep.
So
now, getting back on track here, NFL kind of news, and we talk about this guy all the time, and he's not going to be in this uniform, Stefon Diggs. Although, can I say one thing? Today a report came out that Stefon Diggs is still frustrated with his role in the offense and his input. And play calling, he's very frustrated. He's not allowing certain amounts of input, and the play calling as well. The play calling, he doesn't like it at all. He doesn't like his role in the offense. This is what the sources have been saying to a couple of different media outlets. Diggs supposedly he stormed out of the locker room following the playoff loss against the Cincinnati Bengals last year, and you could see him on the sideline. He was visibly agitated during the game at Josh Allen. So there's still some issues with Stefon Diggs. The role in the offense, his input, play calling, his input in play calling, and so much more. So we don't know yet what's going on with Stefon Diggs. A lot of people say, let's turn our attention to him and try to make a trade for him. Not us, but other teams. Trayvon Diggs wants him on the team. Now, before I even continue here, we got the family repping it here. Skeptical fan.
$1 holler. He said MCW needs a personal makeup team. So I am the personal makeup team, and Mr. MCF can attest to that.
Yes,
because
she is.
I do. Oh, there we go. I do my own nails.
She's a whole beauty consultant here. And
it's very, very much a DIY. Actually, I dyed again. I don't know if anyone noticed, but I dyed my hair myself.
It's hard to tell now because it's dark.
Well, now,
because it's wet. No, it's
you
wet.
You can't tell now, but it's wet. But like the purple and all that, just. Some things I leave to the professionals. I do not cut my own hair.
Maybe one day
I did it once during COVID.
Maybe
just the end.
Maybe what we'll do, hey, Skeptical fan, you need a professional entourage. One day, maybe. One day, Skeptical fan, one day.
You guys are all the entourage I need right now. Mike Aldana saying Stefon's a little pissy, angry, right?
Yeah, we want another. I don't want to say he's another, but we want a diva added to the mix here. We have a good core of receivers right now. Some people say, what if one of these guys go down? We don't have anybody proven. Well, you can't pay a guy $27 million.
No offense.
Someone goes down.
I feel like this is one of those instances where both sides are right. He is being a little bit of a diva, but he does have kind of a point. It sounds like he does want to be more involved in the offense, more able to give his feedback and opinion. I just reminds me of the way that Amari Cooper felt for a while. Here I am, this great weapon. I'm telling you how I can best be used. Please listen to me. Please use me right. So, obviously, I don't know all the details of whatever's going on offensively there, but it just sounds like there might be some kind of roadblock between maximizing Diggs' usage, at least in his mind, right? And whatever the team is doing, whether it's Josh Allen, whether it's, the OC or the coaches.
Play caller, the head coach,
whatever.
Whoever, yeah.
So,
I agree.
but you can't deny that Diggs is that guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great player, but $20-something million per year. He's got one more year basically that's guaranteed in his contract, so maybe that's a attractive thing. It just seems too much to trade. Too many teams have to give up way too much to trade for a guy this expensive who's going to want a bigger deal. He's going to want to. He's saying it's not the money. He's saying it's the way he's being used in the offense. So, don't know. Will he like the way the Cowboys would use him in the West Coast? I don't know. So, if he don't like it, he don't get enough targets, he's going to start bitching. This seems to be his kind of MO right now. With Trayvon Diggs, that's the only connection. That's the connection to the Cowboys. Trayvon Diggs would do anything. And Jerry Jones might be like, you sign here on cheap Trayvon, we'll bring Stefon in. Who knows? I'm joking. He's not going to do that. But, yeah, if they can play together, how much is that worth to Trayvon Diggs? I don't know. How much would the Cowboys willing to give up enough to have them together and keep both of them together for a long time? Yeah. Let's not start dreaming like that yet, all right? Let's just hope that the Cowboys, whatever it is, do the right thing. And, there's definitely a big amount of issues that could be presented if we went out there and traded for someone like Stefon Diggs.
Sorry, our echo activated for some reason. I know I shouldn't have said its name. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think I shut her up.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm babbling too much. Can we move on?
Yeah, no, of course. And actually, I did have the blonde. I was actually kind of done with the blonde.
She had that, but you also there's a little streak in there for you.
It's more that I'm feeling more of an alternative.
She's alt
vibe. Stop it. I always have been. That's not the point.
You have always been alt.
So, but yeah, I just feel a little more alternative. Having some fun these next few weeks, I think, with some more fun colors. That's all.
Oh shit, didn't work. I was trying to pull them off. Sorry, baby. There you go. See, that worked. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, she's going. Okay,
I wasn't sure what you were doing there, so I was just a little confused.
That was an optical illusion. That was an alt. She's going alt. She's changing the hairs up. I can't wait to see the next one. The next one, I know the next one coming.
Well, I mean, yeah, because you saw the colors.
I know.
So anyway, real quick, but Sean Hopkins said, "How's Dak Prescott doing?"
Well,
I mean, honestly,
perfect timing.
Looking great, right?
Well, I mean, again, we talked about Dak and we don't know how he's doing right now.
I do know. Did wish him a happy Father's Day.
Well, that's the thing, guys. Happy Father's Day, of course, but in honor. For Father's Day, let's make sure the Eagles, the Giants, and the Commanders all pay their
respect
homage,
your father,
homage to Dak Prescott, their daddy. Yeah, guys, NFC East King, the daddy of the NFC East. I don't care how you say it, how you split it up.
Right.
The Giants are 10 and 12 games that Dak has played against the Giants. He's played against them, and we played them 14 times, I think, or 13 times.
Yeah,
We played them 40 times. Dak played 12 times against them. 10-2 record. For Dak Prescott against the New York Football Giants. That was when his rookie year, when they were fantastic. Those were his only 2 losses when he was on that, in his rookie year. Now, what about Washington? Washington 9-2 for the Cowboys. Well, Cowboys when Dak Prescott's the quarterback. 9 wins, 2 losses, but they haven't really been that good. Let's be real. But nonetheless, still their daddy. And then the Eagles. They might have been through a Super Bowl and won a Super Bowl. 8-3 is Dak's record when he played against when he's the quarterback against the Philadelphia Eagles. So boom, boom, and boom. We are combined. Dak is a combined 27-7. That's his record against the NFC East throughout his career. Now, I want to make sure I say this is not the Dak Cowboys. It's the Dallas Cowboys. So it's the defense that helps. It's the running game. It's the receivers, the blocking, and on and on. So it's not just Dak's performances that win games.
But let's be honest, Dak.
He was a major part of all these wins in most of these games.
More than most, right, has shown, especially in games against our NFC East rivals, he has played some of his best games against them. So, I feel like that plays into his favor. Of course, he's had some crappy games against them too, like you said, and it is a team effort. But I do, most of the bigger or more impressive, Dak plays that I can think of throughout the years, there's obviously a handful that happen against other teams, but man, those NFC East matchups always end up, I don't know, they bring out the best in Dak.
Yeah, Dak somehow responds to, in studying and playing them twice, when he gets to know them, he seems to play better against them. So,
just say, that obviously has to be part of it, especially because we know, on his time, he puts in a lot of work into, studying, keeping up with his quarterbacking, however you want to call it.
Yeah, I agree. And that's the thing, Dak does a great job in all that. And that's why, Dak is on top of the NFC East. Now, you can say the competition wasn't that good. Sometimes, most of the time, you'd be right about that. But there's a couple of times where there's a Giants, a couple of those years, and the Eagles, a couple of those years where obviously
as
they
good as
were.
our defense is now,
yeah.
it was not always.
Yeah.
So Dak was out there scoring 40-plus points to win games.
But see, that's the thing. It wasn't Dak. It was Dak and the rest of the team. And I always want to make that known because when you give him when you can't give him all the fault,
like those
you can't always you can't give Dak all the fault when he throws interception and bounces off Noah Brown's hands. That's not on Dak Prescott. I don't give a shit if you love him or hate him. You're just ignorant if you think that's on Dak. But you can't also say that Dak won the game. Sometimes he put us in a hole against Washington, and then he played great to win the game in the end. But it was a defense making the stops, the other players breaking the tackles, and so that's what I'm trying to say. It's a team game, but Dak was at the helm at those games, right? So he beats the NFC East. He is Happy Father's Day. Eagles and Washington and Giants must wish Dak a Happy Father's Day because Dak is their Daddy Dak, representing it, right? So
oh my broken day, yeah. But again, obviously, it's hard because no matter which way you slice it, the quarterback will always get a bigger share of the accolades and the blame for what happens offensively. So as much as we want to say it isn't the Dak Cowboys, there's certainly some people that, whether it's positive or negative, believe it's the Dak Cowboys because they either put all the good on Dak or they put all the blame on Dak, and that's just not the case.
Well, I'm going to tell you this, whether it's sometimes Dak and sometimes not Dak, we talk about it fairly and we give it to you that way. I don't give a shit if we, if we dislike this guy more than this guy or like this guy better than this guy. If it's on that person, we will let you know and we'll give you the reasons why. Now, moving on, because this leads me into the discussion about something I saw today as part of the title. NFL.com, they ranked MVPs for this upcoming year in the league. And they put Dak Prescott right there as a dark horse as for league NFL MVP. New weapons, that's one of the reasons. I'll go through a little more detail what they said, but new weapons, new play caller in McCarthy. And, Dak is expected to have a very big 2023 season, as we all expect this from him. I do believe there's a better offense. Adam Sheen put Dak Prescott at the top of his dark horse MVP list, candidate list. Yeah. And he said that the odds, of course, MVP is 2,500 to 1 odds. McCarthy, what he said, I'm paraphrasing here, is that McCarthy knows what an MVP quarterback is like. He's worked with Joe Montana back in Kansas City. He's worked with Rich Gannon, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. We know the people he's worked with. So now he's the head. He coached these guys as a play caller, right, or as an integral part of getting a game plan together for these quarterbacks.
Yeah. And
he's
I've
doing this
said
now
this several times now too, as far as the whole fact that McCarthy feels like a quarterback-led offense is how you get these types of quarterbacks.
Yeah, and again, that's what. Is it the chicken or the egg situation? These guys have natural talent, but McCarthy has game plans that go around them.
From his coaching perspective, how he contributes to that. Obviously, you have to have some kind of talent to work with, which McCarthy has said since day one. He feels like Dak does have that talent, right? Yeah. But at least on the coaching side, again, this is where we get that Texas.
This is the first year you have McCarthy and Dak together here. But let's just be real about the actual play calling connection with the quarterback, which is night and day since the last 3 years with Kellen Moore. No matter how you like him or not, Kellen Moore, that's where we're at. That's one of the advantages right now of McCarthy being at the helm. So the Cowboys, McCarthy, the head play caller here. A lot of people believe this could be Dak's best season as a quarterback.
I hope so.
No, that's again.
I know.
In McCarthy's 12 years as Green Bay's head coach and play caller, I think the last year he was not play calling anymore. I think, but the Packers finished as a top 5 scoring offense 7 times out of 12 years with McCarthy calling the plays. So whether you like McCarthy or not, you think it's Aaron Rodgers or not, it's a little talent is what he needs, or a lot of talent, and he's going to get you. He could get you a Super Bowl, help you get a Super Bowl. So the play calling already raised that for Dak. That's the reason why Dak should have a better year. Another positive development, according to Sheen, is that the trade acquisition for Brandon Cooks. All right, and again, I could throw him up here for you guys, but Brandon Cooks, right there with Dak, according to Adam Sheen, is a much needed boost in the Cowboy receiving core. Of course, last year, still hurt Gallup, fantastic, and it kind of after about a quarter of the year or a third of the year, we saw CD kind of come into his own. But before that, for a third of the year, CD wasn't yet, I don't think, at that level yet. But throughout the year last year, he became number 1. Gallup limping around, not limping around, but just not his own self. That's a downgrade. And then, of course, whether James Washington couldn't get in the field. You got Noah Brown. Come on, he led to so many interceptions.
Tolbert being expected to do the job of 3 people.
Tolbert a bust in the Kellen Moore offense. So Brandon Cooks is a savior in some ways with the McCarthy play calling, which makes Dak. You got to see Dak has to have a better year this year. And again, not that he had a bad year. He's injured. He had a lot of interceptions. 7 of those not his fault, because they actually hit off the receiver's hands. You know what I mean? So those are not his fault. So my thing is that, that in itself is not going to be like that this year. I don't think with Dak, and I also think the play calling is going to be quicker, faster reads. We talked about the offense of him rolling out. All of this is going to equal for Dak to have a better year. And Brandon Cook's one of those guys who, is going to add to this receiver threat that we didn't have really last year. Now that CeeDee Lamb is now a Pro Bowler, but he's a certified number one. CeeDee Lamb, you got Brandon Cooks adds a field stretcher. We already know he takes the top off defenses, all that good stuff.
And we already know that him and Dak are already
in
clicking.
tune. Remember, Brandon Cooks had 1,000 yards 6 out of his 9 years in his career with 4 different teams. If he does it with Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, that'd be 5 different teams. No one's ever done it 4 different teams. So Brandon Cooks can fit in any offense with any play caller and any quarterback. So we're just seeing more proof of that now, right? So again, this is going to help Dak Prescott. He still hasn't even turned 30 until middle of the year or whatever, in the beginning of the season.
July 28th, 29th.
Oh, is it? Okay, yes. Yeah, another month.
His birthday is always right at the beginning of training camp. So.
30 years old, though. Look, he should have a lot left, at least this year.
30,
and we have him next year as well. We've got a lot left in the tank. 2 more years of Brandon Cook could be a major boost to this offense and Dak Prescott, right? You add in Michael Gallup should be a lot better now from the ACL.
He's kind of expected to be back to 100% now.
So now you have an improved Gallup. You got a brand new, Brandon Cooks. That's going to help this guy right here, Dak Prescott. The play caller is different, more scheme friendly to the players' skill sets than Kellen Moore's was. I think we all know that, whether it was Jalen Tolbert, Dak, most of the team, there was a lot of delays on shit. So
we even have some kind of fun gadget guys like Turpin as well that Dak even mentioned.
Deuce Vaughn.
He's a playmaker. Can't wait to see him get more involved.
Just getting the ball in their hands. They're not going to be like the starters on this team, but they're going to be thrown in for specialized situations and used different ways. That's the key. Use them as a trick play. Than
they were before.
Exactly.
That to me, even just on a baseline level,
Correct.
At this point, I don't even care how it's accomplished. Right?
Well, exactly. But McCarthy at the controls, better options at receiver for the Cowboys. Upgraded Gallup, bona fide CeeDee Lamb, and of course Brandon Cooks. We already talked about him. Again, Dak will not. I'm trying to say this. These guys are not going to drop the ball like the way Noah Browns did, and some other guys made mistakes. Dalton Schultz ran wrong routes multiple times and caused issues. I think that this will limit the 15 interception we saw last year. That's not going to be close to that this year. And then you look at the defense, who was great last year. Are they going to be better this year? I think so. And that's going to help the offense. That's going to help Dak Prescott. Yeah. So now Micah leading this defense. Dak's going to have this 2023 Cowboy team. No matter what you think about Dak Prescott, you saw him last year, and he struggled here and there, but a lot of those struggles were him, play calling, receivers, blocking, whatever you want to call it. This is a different kind of year. We still have some issues, but there's other things that have been improved and upgraded, no matter how you slice it. The receivers, the play calling, and you know what I'm saying? With the defense even has been improved in this team. So the Cowboys should be in the Super Bowl conversation, and that puts Dak in the MVP conversation. If this is where you're seeing the Cowboy as America's team and all that stuff. He said, Dak Prescott, when you're a contender for either a deep contender in the playoffs or Super Bowl contender for America's team, you are automatically a top-notch MVP candidate if you're the quarterback of this team. Yeah. And that's just the way it goes, no matter who it is.
I have to say, Willie, that's...
What's the comment?
I think you got the cart before the horse, so to speak, because quarterbacks get paid that much because of their importance on the team and the offense.
What do you say?
So, and that's been, even before all the QB salaries went crazy. He's like... QB salaries prevent you from signing significant upgrades. Thus, wins and losses are on the QB. And if you don't realize this, you don't know football. So, plus, you can pay your quarterback $5, right? And you can spend the rest of the money everywhere else. But if the quarterback can't get the ball to those people, you are still in the same exact
Two things I want to say. When the Cowboys had Dak's contract on their cheap deal, Cowboy front office did nothing for that. That's number one. Keep that in mind. Number two. Now that we're in this situation, let's not look past the Jalen Hurts situation. We see Jalen Hurts, and they're pushing 3-4 years of dead cap money, so he can be hitting the cap for $20 million a year. So there's obviously ways you can massage the cap to not have to take up that much of the cap. So you have to know football better, sir. You have to know salary cap better.
Right?
You have to know salary capology better before you come talking here, because we're masters of this. I'm sorry, baby. No, it's not bothering me. I want to make sure I clear it up. Because that's when people talk ignorant, they don't understand the actual cap breakdowns of contracts. They just sound stupid. So I'm trying to make sure I help people out here and just make sure we get on the same page, because that's the thing. Quarterback market, you're going to be paying a certain amount no matter what for the quarterbacks, and then you have to manipulate or massage the cap hit. That's the important thing. Whether it's in signing bonus, you dole it out over 8 years on a 4-year contract. Cowboys have that done with 2 years of Dak's contract. Now, as it gets big, they either extend them or they got to take the hits. So if you extend them, you throw this money now 4 years in advance. And as the cap gets bigger and grows every year and more room becomes on it, you try to engulf and kind of suck in, I guess, the leftover, cap hits from Dak or any other players with dead money down the line when eventually it won't be on this team, whether it's in a couple years for Dak or 5 years from now or 6 years from now if we extend Dak. So you got to know how to massage the cap. I can't help you there if you haven't done your homework, sir. But try it out, check it out, come back and let us know how you feel. Now, I'm going to go back to the Dak Prescott situation because that's what we're talking about here. And I'm going to show you some other facts about Dak here in a minute. Just plain facts. It's not not love or not hate. It's just facts. Comparing, now this is not the facts though. I'm going to say this. You look at the number 4 kind of, I think he's 4th on this list of candidates on the overall list, but when it comes to the underdog, you got guys like Derek Carr on this list, Tua Tagovailoa, Deshaun Watson, Matthew Stafford. But none of these guys had a 1,000-yard receiver added to their arsenal, to their receiving arsenal. Dak has added now he has a weapon, a real, tangible weapon in Brandon Cooks. So with Brandon Cooks now on the team, he's going to help the Cowboys create more separation. Gallup does not create separation. He's not a very good separator, even when he was before his ACL tear. So Brandon Cooks will get separation. He'll get it deep, and he's going to stretch the field. So when you do that, you're going to open up opportunities for Gallup. You're going to open up opportunities for the tight ends, the running backs at the backfield, and of course, CeeDee Lamb. So again, it's good to have some of these younger guys around them, guys that are leaders like Brandon Cooks who can kind of get the speed going. Dak, again, guys, won the Offensive Rookie of the Year, Walter Payton Man of the Year award, one of the most recognizable players in the NFL. Let's be real about that. Of course, America's team, like I mentioned. Limiting his interceptions from last year, hopefully better receivers that won't drop so many goddamn passes, will change I think will change at least some of the Cowboy fan base perception on him, because last year is a good chance to jump on him about that when it wasn't only his fault. It was his fault, but not only his fault, which some people don't understand. But that's the thing, guys. I think now when you get past that interception issue and you make this team, when you add the McCarthy, Brandon Cooks, and things we already discussed here, just already, upgrading this offense, Dak's going to have more weapons and more ability to be, if we're in that Super Bowl path, a Super Bowl kind of possibility, right? That road to be one of the top teams in the league, and Dak will definitely be considered as an MVP for this year. I think he'll be a dark horse. You're not really talking about, he's not one of the big names yet, but if things go right for the team, whether it's Dak's team or the Cowboy team, Dak Prescott will have the MVP name.
I have a feeling it's going to be one of those things where you're right. I don't think a single person week 1 is going to be even thinking about Dak Prescott. And honestly, based off his performance last year, who could blame him? Realistically speaking. We all know all the other factors going into it. So I have a feeling by the time week 6, 7, 8 comes by, everyone and their mom is going to say, oh my goodness, Dak Prescott, he came out of nowhere. So at least this person said it first as far as their thoughts on
Gotta give it to them on that. We'll see. If the offense rolls, Dak will be part of that rolling offense. He'll get the most credit for that. Like, he takes the most blame. Maybe undeservedly. Maybe he doesn't deserve all the credit for the offense working better, but he's the quarterback. I know where to keep Dak. We're doing great on offense. He's doing great. But he's not the only reason why we're doing great. And some people that love Dak to an extent of like the way that people hate Dak on the other side, they will be blind to saying, well, yeah, but Brandon Cooks is good, but Dak threw the ball. Well, Brandon Cooks helped Dak get other guys open, and everybody, and McCarthy's play calling helps Dak Prescott. Ways that I think Kellen Moore didn't help Dak as much last year. Anyways, putting that San Francisco game aside, and that was again a lot on Dak Prescott, more than usual in most games. Pollard being hurt didn't help. Didn't help Dak, didn't help Kellen Moore, which was a poorly called game in my opinion. But either way, how you slice it, that playoff loss against the Niners, Dak, go back a week before that. I'm like, how do fucking people forget the week he had before that? I'll show you a little highlight here. This is Dak against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Remember when we beat their ass? And Dak had a crazy great game in that game against, again, a Buccaneer team that Dak put up a 75% completion percentage, 143 passer rating, a 305 passing yards, 5 total touchdowns. 4 of them were passing, 1 he ran in.
We'd love to see it.
We retired. Dak Prescott retired Tom Brady, broke the undefeated streak against the Cowboys. People really said, wow, Dak was something else. And that after this game, why did the things change so fast? Look, as long as he channels this style of play you're seeing on your screen in the upgraded offense, upgraded offensive scheme. If he can do this consistently for 2023 in this offense with these players, there's no question he'll be considered among the best in the NFL in 2023 at least. And definitely as a quarterback, you get put into, an MVP rating no matter what. In the MVP group.
You have to be included in those discussions if your team is putting up that type of production
on offense. If we're rolling like that and we have the record, damn right. So that there is, that's just that's not me talking now. Mm-hmm. That is, NFL.com, Adam Sheem talking about
the one thing that he did not mention, and I didn't hear him talk about it a single time, which I think is also a big factor, and it plays into the whole Texas Coast offense. I'm so tempted to say Texas Toast every time. Tony Pollard, right? As far as his versatility, right? Because I feel like that's one thing that I'm looking forward to seeing the most. I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit more, explosive, dynamic, however you want to call it. But my expectations for obviously the entire offense are much improved. And obviously our receivers have a big part to play in that. Our tight end room, more question marks, not necessarily in a bad way, just in I'm not sure how much production they're going to have as far as like actual yards and numbers and things like that. But Tony Pollard, I have a feeling he's going to put up some crazy stats this year in the run game and in the passing game if McCarthy has anything to do with it. Because some of the comments that he's made about Turpin and just some of the other players, every single time I hear it, I'm like, well, a lot of that could apply to Pollard, if you look at it the right way. And the fact that we're still kind of waiting for the Cowboys to add that kind of power back, or at least make it clear who our power back is going to be. I mean, we know Tony Pollard is going to be that guy. But I think we forget how much we saw Zeke in the passing game and how much I think that McCarthy was kind of okay with trying to make it work. So, I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. I want to make that clear.
Well,
maybe my thoughts on
you must be reading my mind.
My Pollard mindset.
Because Pollard's the next guy I'm talking about.
Okay, so then I just wanted to be a biter and steal your idea.
Touchdown Cowboys. So anyways, listen, I want to hear what people got to say. You guys, this is a quick one tonight, so you guys might want to drop your love, drop your thoughts right now because we're wrapping it up here shortly. But should I go right into Dak? Or should I go away from Dak and go to Pollard, or should anybody talk?
So why don't you start with Pollard since obviously, I feel like Dak is going to be
Pollard's situation is a little different. It's more about contract and Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones. Okay. Tony Pollard is supposedly open to a new deal with the Dallas Cowboys. Open to make an extension deal here. Veteran running back. He's saying he doesn't mind. He's looking for a long-term deal with the Cowboys. But it's like 3 or 4 years a long-term deal. But a long-term deal for a running back, interesting.
That's what I said. I'm like, if he's saying that, it sounds like he's almost accepting and saying, like, look, I know I'm probably not going to get maybe necessarily everything I want or as much money as I think I deserve, but I'd rather stay here and be chill.
Yeah, and just
even if it means getting a little less, I'm in a good spot. I like it here. Look,
but the long-term thing is the big question because, number one, can he survive a whole season, even being the number one with who knows how much help as a number two there, running around, who's going to be helping taking some of the hits?
He did make it 18 and a half games.
He did, but he broke his ankle there at the end, or his leg. So I'm just saying, listen.
It was a freak accident.
I know. I agree, but what other freak accident will come? We need to take somebody to take the hits. Ronald Jones, will he be a guy? Will there be another guy we pick? Will it be Zeke? Look, all I'm saying is this.
Tight ends come through first.
I'm not a big fan of the long-term deal for Tony Pollard. I like the tag. I'm not crazy about the long-term deal. Got to see how he's going to work in the offense, the West Coast offense. Okay, Texas Coast offense. But we got to see how he works in this offense. How does McCarthy use him? So, again, a few months ago, remember Stephen Jones talked about who? Re-signing, fifth year. We already got the fifth year option already on CeeDee Lamb. Yeah. He talked about re-signing him. And Stefon Diggs talked about both these guys, saying that both these guys are on their radar, Cowboys' radar, to sign these guys. But today it was reported that the Cowboys are now interested in maybe settling in on a new contract with Tony Pollard. So that's major news there in the sense that, will Pollard now be, at the forefront of the Cowboys, maybe giving him a 3-year deal, 4-year deal?
What did you talk about yesterday, baby? I hate to interrupt you, but what did you talk about yesterday?
What
was one of our big topics, or at least who is a new face, a very new pretty face, who has joined the Dallas Cowboys? Because I feel like, if I recall,
Analytic Queen, Sarah Molly Polly,
so
right there.
One of the big things about Sarah that has, kind of, I guess, been making waves out there is that she has said that she has completely changed her mindset on how much individual running backs have value to your offense and to your team.
Okay.
So if you take that and you add in this maybe possible Tony Pollard extension or something, I mean, I have to admit that I think there's something there. Clearly, if there's interest from Pollard's side, and if we're bringing in someone who personally now values running backs more into our analytics, which is trying to figure out what we're valuing, I mean, for the right price.
And here's the thing, though. What does that do with Pollard's contract if he takes a long-term deal? If he adds 3 years to this deal, that $10 million this year, it goes down to like $4 million, $5 million. How does that make you feel? And he might take 8 years overall for the next 4 years, including this year, incorporating this. What would you say? That's a pretty good deal. Would you see that? I might roll the dice with.
I'm even slightly willing to overpay for Pollard for this reason.
If you use him right, yes.
I just said it like 5 minutes ago. I need to see Pollard used in a versatile way. If we're using Pollard not just in a strictly running back format, fuck it. Like, I'm sorry, just pay him that extra $1 million or $2 million because he's giving you that extra $1 million or $2 worth of value.
Yep.
So that to me is the future of the running back position. We kind of touched on that before.
So that's maybe the better question. They would know. Again, John Park here, where I'm at, he's the head of this whole thing right now, and these two are the most sought after people in the analytics world in football, in the NFL. And this Sarah Malapalli, she coming from the Ravens, he came from the Colts, obviously, but she came from the Ravens, and she is also one of the top person would be hired as a number one probably if John Park was here. My point is she's big into, I think that's the thing, finding the future of the running back position. The Cowboys want to see that, and maybe Pollard is that guy. Maybe that's why we didn't draft anybody till Deuce Vaughn later in the draft.
It also makes me think of comments and jokes that Voodoo Alpha makes here all the time, Frame Rippers. He always joked about the Ravens saying that Lamar Jackson is basically just a glorified running back. So her valuing the running back position from the Ravens, it just made me think of that. And I know it's only slightly related, but the point is that she sees the value in a running back because, well, the run has worked very well for the Ravens. So maybe even if you see Lamar Jackson,
if you get a guy out there that can run like Lamar Jackson and is built like a running back, maybe that's what you want as a running back, right?
Now, the one thing I don't want to see is Dak running necessarily too much. We still want that threat there. That's not
Dak's job. That's not Dak's job in this offense.
No.
I think it's more about this guy here. Does he fit let's say if Lamar Jackson was a running back, a true running back, would he call Tony Pollard?
Yeah.
That's my question, because he's got the skills of Pollard. Not doesn't have everything exactly like Lamar Jackson, but he can handle more hits than Lamar Jackson would.
Chris Plumage does have one point about Pollard that I want to point out real quick. He said, hopefully Pollard's figuring out how to stop a blitzing linebacker, particularly the one from that Niner country who disrupted that whole Cowboy scheme. Was
I agree.
It Warner?
Well, yeah, Fred Warner, fantastic player. I'm going to say this, though. Analytically, Tony Pollard blocked about 3% in pass protection, 3% more than Zeke last year, and he was ranked second or fourth in the NFL, Pollard. Zeke was 23rd in the NFL in the pass blocking win rate. Not very good. When you see Pollard, he's got a lot better in that. So I agree with you. He still needs to get better. We got in there Luke Schoonmaker, who might be an inline blocker, kind of like a line of scrimmage, picking up that block, that Fred Warner next time. That could be very possible. I think Pollard's going to be used more as a West Coast quick receiver out of the backfield. A lot more than we may think. Maybe outside zone runs. We're hearing a lot about outside, getting that corner. I said that last year.
The way to have Pollard beat him is to not even have Pollard anywhere near him and just get him as far away from him as possible. Yeah. Scheme that.
Yeah, and it's quick. Everything's going to be 2 seconds, guys. 2 seconds. And I'm guessing it could be 2.25 or 2.5. 2 seconds. Dak's breaking pocket, and every player in this team on offensive line, the tight ends, the receivers, running backs, they're all going to their spots. So again, look for the ball and get open for Dak. Hey, Dak could just run for 4 yards, like I've been saying for years. I mean, I wish we can go back to 2017 when we started this thing here at My Cowboys. I've been saying this thing. Now that McCarthy's kind of doing this, I'm going to wait till we see it on the field. But damn, I would be the Cowboys' dad if this ends up going this route. I'm just saying, I would be the daddy of the Cowboys, and they better fucking hire me. Look, all I'm saying is that I'm making a joke, but I'm not, because I've been saying this about Dak. All the qualities we're seeing talked about the offensive scheme now is exactly what I've been talking about in a while, for the last 6 freaking years here on My Cowboy. I'm sorry, I'll stop.
No, it's not just that. You guys in the chat are
I get
cracking
crazy
me up.
in here.
But I will say, we appreciate everybody here. And Willie, you are certainly a brave man. I will give you that.
I missed all the. I know he's in there trolling a little bit. Right?
Oh, but
it's all fun. It's all good as long as it's all respectful, as respectful as trolling can be. Right. So either way, go Cowboys, no matter what.
So Retro Scotty, what's up, much love?
Retro into his out. What's up, man? And I know you're talking about on that movie thing. So I know you guys are still. I think you guys will communicate all that over, right?
Yeah. You guys are good.
Now, Tony Pollard, let me just finish here, baby, real quick. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN said that both sides today, he said this, that both sides want to, are getting close to agreeing or trying to agree on a new long-term deal, which long-term nowadays is 3 or 4 years.
Wouldn't that be a good thing, though? Because I know Pollard signed the tag, but we still technically have until...
Yeah, till middle of July. Middle of July.
So the point is, if we work something out now, wouldn't that benefit the Cowboys instead of
salary cap wise? It would help.
Okay.
Cowboys maybe trying to get salary cap money now and push this down to the end.
Towards at least the Cowboys possibly being interested as well, not just Pollard on his side. So
well, I think that you made a great point about Malapali, the lady we just hired. Yeah. She might be saying get the most out of you. Right now is the low point of running back pay, so you strike on one of these guys.
It's the best bang for your buck. Yeah. If you have a good running back, you can get a really high quality player for a cheap price.
And listen, to me, Tony Pollard, if you use him right, not necessarily exactly like Deebo Samuel, but he reminds me of the similar kind of player. Use him on a slot sometimes, using him as a receiver, running back, outside running, and use that speed. That's what I would do with Tony Pollard, which is very similar to the Niners do with Deebo Samuel. So, just an idea. I know he could get broken down quicker that way, but you can use him in a versatile way in McCarthy's West Coast / Texas Coast offense. And I think Pollard is a real weapon for a couple of years if we go that route. If they are sure of that, push the money down a little bit and some dead cap money hits, and you get him for $5 million a year, basically. For the next 4 years, you fucking do that. And then the last 2 years, you got like $10 million dead each year. With Dak's dead money of $60 million, you can have $7 million hits, but by then we'll already have $80 million or $90 million more. By the time 6 years come, right? Yeah. We'll have that money. Half of that will be absorbed by the cap rising every year. Of those hits, the Micah hit, the Trayvon Diggs hit, CeeDee Lamb hit. Yeah. A lot of hits.
Mike Aldana said, sign TP. We can hold out for another free agent if we need to.
Or just use his money towards the other guys that we're going to have to make room for, right? If you want to keep all your guys like Micah, CeeDee Lamb, Trayvon Diggs, Dak's contract extension, which will open up more money now, Tony Pollard's contract extension. You got 5 fantastic players, and you're opening up, in the next 5 years, you're opening up shitloads of cap room, believe it or not.
So, Retro Scotty's asking a question more on the other side, though. He says, so if we do ink Pollard to a new deal, and he doesn't have that great of a season,
that's the catch.
Then was it a bad deal? Do we start pointing fingers at our front office as another financial blunder? The reason I'm going to say no to that is because
he's coming off an injury too.
Even if that's a reason we can bring his price down. We already signed. We already said we're willing to pay $10 million. What's the difference between splitting that $10 million up into 3 years, making it more or less 15, averaging it out in some way? You know what I mean? The other reason I'm saying that is because usually when we see long-term deals, even if it is a 3 to 4 year deal, there's a very good chance that one of those last years is going to be massageable, right? The Cowboys will probably work it out in such a way where we can pay the bulk of his money a little earlier so that we can cut him and not end up in a similar situation.
We're talking about guaranteed money.
Exactly.
So the guaranteed money is going to end after, let's say, 2 years or 2.5 years of his 4 year deal.
Yeah, the same way that we've seen it with other players in a similar situation. Exactly. So again, we still have the option beyond that.
I got you.
But for the most part, we'll pay, let's say, instead of $10 million this 1 year, we'll pay $12 million. Over 2 years, guaranteed. Like, I'm just literally just throwing numbers out of my ass, guys. Please don't take this as, like, what I think Pollard's worth. So, we'd end up paying more like $12 million guaranteed over those 2 years, split up, obviously, $6 million, whatever. Maybe sprinkle a little signing bonus or something. That third year ends up being more of an option year. So, maybe it works out that year ends up closer to, like...
Maybe $3 million dead cap if you cut them that year, something like that. And the last year, you might have $4 million dead cap because of push money. And then you have a couple dead cap years, $4 million maybe into 2027 and 2028 or something.
Exactly.
You wouldn't even feel that.
Means that we're carrying... We're guaranteeing Tony Pollard for a minimum of 2 years during what we're expecting to be his most productive years left for him.
worth the risk, I think, but it wouldn't be a big blunder like signing a quarterback that gets hurt all the time, which is not Dak. Signing a quarterback that's horrible, which is not Dak. For a long time now, that's a big hit. Like you said about Mahomes earlier, I know we kind of skipped over it real quick, but it's the way they're throwing the money down so far down the line, and it's going to be bigger hits, but they just keep reworking the deal, moving the money down. So and they know they're going to take a year or two of a worse free agent market year or worse re-signing year. But it's not like they're done, because after they have to pay those years, it's still going to be less of you're going to feel it less. A dollar is worth more. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Doing the stuff now and making these deals now, because later on that dollar is going to increase in the NFL, the worth of it for contracts, and you know what I'm saying? You're saving money in the future if you keep a guy like Mahomes around like that.
Yeah. So and I do agree, Mike. To me, it's almost irrelevant, because I don't really care what Tony Pollard does in the future if he doesn't do anything this year right now, because to me, this particular year right now is the more important one. More so than next year or the following, even though obviously I'm fingers crossed hoping that if Pollard is here, he can produce something for us.
Yeah,
but
and that's
why we franchise tagged him, because whether we tag him or extend him, this is the year he's got to nut up or shut up.
I like your idea of like spreading out the contract money, and with a running back, it's not hitting as much, right? If you're going to do it, any guy with dead cap money, you're literally talking about $4 million maybe after he's gone for the team in 4 years. So in the fifth year from now and sixth year from now, you're paying $4 million a year on Pollard's dead cap hits. That's nothing. When the cap went up $100 million since now.
Exactly.
So you don't even feel the Pollard hit. I see that as a good thing, but I also worry two things. Not really about the injury, but how will he be used in McCarthy's offense? That's a question I just want answered. We can roll the dice.
I've already told you my thoughts.
McCarthy might even be here next year. Like, he might not be here, McCarthy. So
I have to be honest. Short of a major catastrophe,
not making the playoffs would be a catastrophe.
Exactly. So I don't see a way that McCarthy isn't here next year, or doesn't get some kind of situation worked out, unless, of course, like we've kind of talked about, maybe someone like Dan Quinn ends up stepping up into that role. But either way, I still think we're going to see a lot of continuity from McCarthy, even if he moves on. Right? Yeah. Too much of his team is going to live on, just based off what we know from contracts and young rookies and stuff. Mm-hmm. Whoever comes in is still going to have probably about a 70% McCarthy offense. Yeah.
No, I understand that. It's going to still be similar. It's going to be like that Dak language, right?
I know. I'm using that 70% a little intentionally there.
I know. It's 70-30, right?
Yeah.
So, look, Jeremy Fowler of ESPN said this about Tony Pollard. Quote, he's in a situation, I'm told, where he's looking as this as a win-win because he signed his franchise tag tender at the $10.1 million area range. He's injured, coming off the ankle surgery, so he's got the security no matter what happens. But if the Cowboys want to step up and try to do a long-term deal, this is according to Jeremy Fowler, he would definitely be open to that. Nothing moving on yet. Nothing moving on that side of things yet, is what he said. But there's a lot of time before the July 17th deadline. That's the franchise tag deadline. So they still can work stuff till July 17th. Try to remember that.
We're literally hearing about it more or less a month, almost exactly a month to that day. Yeah. So to me, that's a very positive sign. And like I said, this woman's been in the building less than 24 hours. I'm sure she's interviewed and all that stuff before that, but look, it seems like Sarah's already having a bit of an impact.
She seems like it big time.
And I think it's a positive one, because I do like Pollard.
Take that into consideration when you hear this talk about it in other places, that this analytics stuff is a big deal to the Cowboys right now. They're at least showing a lot of commitment to this.
Yeah, they're taking it seriously. Yeah, or at least they're taking what they say seriously.
Yeah, so again, the Cowboys, according the reasoning the Cowboys would do this deal is exactly what we've been talking about this whole night. This is a quote from Jeremy Fowler, quote, certainly both sides are expected to reconvene and talk about a potential long-term deal. The Cowboys would love to get his cap hit down a little bit so they could sign some other players. And we know that means CeeDee Lamb, Stefon Diggs. Of course, next year, Micah Parsons. You got to get that done. So
Chris Plumage, have a great night. Take it easy.
Chris in the house. Appreciate you. So, you know what I mean? So that situation with Tony Pollard. Hit up the chat, baby. Let me know what they're thinking. Because, again, seems to me exactly what we've been saying. Bringing the cap hit from 10.1 down, and then you could spread out that money and push it off to, it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Plumage was just pointing out, like, the NFC upper echelon right now. You got the Eagles, you got the 49ers, you have the Cowboys. Yep. You got to include the Lions in that.
But we're in the top three. I think there's a break after the Eagles, Niners, and Cowboys. I'm sorry. No.
Noah's denying that, my love.
I know. There's still good other teams. Yeah.
He's trying to read his comment. He's just listing the teams that he feels like are dominating the NFC right now.
Detroit's definitely next at the top of that.
So Eagles, the Niners, the Cowboys, and you have the Lions, the Seahawks, and he threw in Jacksonville, but then he realized, no, that's an AFC team. But at least on the NFC side, those are the teams that are more or less dominating.
Ooh,
right?
Yeah.
Everybody else
those are the top teams.
Struggling to keep up.
Let's put it this way. It's wide open, right?
At least past those top three, yes. Because I still think the Eagles, the Niners, and the Cowboys are going to be the top 3 teams in the NFC.
Now, we just saw the top
Snug
guy.
X, let us know your thoughts on that as well. And not just that $20 Tony Pollard.
Yep, right there.
Pollard. I had to put that respect
Tony
on it.
Pollard hollered right in our stream.
Just because of MCW. So.
I mean, she is special. Very special. I don't mean that in the best way. Very special to all our hearts.
My sandwich.
Yeah, where he's coming. But no, listen, Snug X, appreciate you with taking Mark down to 30 points on that stream, boss.
That's right.
Mark has had that stream, boss, he's going on 14 out of 15 weeks if he holds it down for this week. But Mark right now drops into second place on the board right above us here because of you, baby.
Yeah.
Literally just because of MCW, because of you. That $20 Tony Pollard hollered by Snug X puts him in first place and puts him right in front of Mark Hovsepian for the sponsor of the week as we're coming down to the end here. Much love to Snug X. What we know why he said it. So appreciate you, brother.
Much love.
Appreciate it, man. Again,
so Lost
what's other thoughts on this?
Use some of that AB money, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think the Anthony Brown money that we're talking about here, right? So,
of course.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Brown, I mean, it's not like we're saving
Antonio Brown.
But we're saving the money by not having a contract with him, right? So he's already not on the books. It's just the money we didn't have to spend for him, but how much would that have been? He's still out there looking for a job at $2 million.
The way I see it, I'd love to use some of that TP money. That's the whole reason why I think it makes so much sense. We already said we're willing to pay this man $10 million this year. What is the freaking difference between paying him an extra $2 million is spreading it out? Like, at least guaranteed. Look, I feel like I don't want to beat a dead horse here, right? I already said that, made my point there. But I just think it makes a lot of sense. I just thought that Tony Pollard wasn't interested necessarily in staying long-term because of the money situation. And on the other side, I did think the front office was trying to hit it and quit it with Pollard, right? Like, they were ready to move on from him past this year.
Things seem to be a little different now. We'll see. But I think that the Tony Pollard...
something changed is my point, and it does feel like it changed in a positive direction.
So do you think that the change is this lady right here?
Partially.
This guy right here?
I feel like, obviously, we got her because she fits something that we're already looking for. So,
because the run game, I brought it up yesterday. Yep.
So, someone internally has been having these discussions, has been pushing these things. At least that's my thought process there.
That person
you
know.
So much, Skeptical fan. Appreciate you. Much love. Coming through, gifting a membership there, and that person was
now
the lucky winner. Hey,
yes,
we all know that person.
That person gets a gifted membership, Navy Blue Crew. I think the second one he's gotten. Skeptical fan now. I got to fix that. 31 on that board. 31 gifted memberships, and still in second place behind Marco Seppian and behind first place Snug X.
There you go.
So let me fix that.
And thank you, Retro Scotty. Have a great night.
Much
but yeah,
love,
Skeptical
Retro.
fan. I let those in the chat with the power make the decision on when it's time for the trolls to go.
We're pretty cool
and
about
a 40
things,
Winers fan, I think he lasted long enough.
Wow.
So
hey, listen.
Which sucks because you know what's funny? I actually like Brock Purdy, but the Niners also have like T minus 2 years to try and win a Super Bowl with him before he also ends up being expensive as shit. Because guess what happens to everybody after they move on past the rookie contract? They're expensive.
Yeah.
Very expensive. So, and by the way, if I recall, was Brock Purdy a first-round pick?
He was the last pick of the draft.
So there you go. Do you think he has a fifth-year option being the last pick in the draft? So I'm just saying, and this upcoming year, he's not even going to see the field, right? Because his injury is really bad. He's not expected to play this season, I don't think. Right? I feel like I'm missing.
No, he's going to play. He's just going to be a little bit later in the season. He's probably not expected to start.
I could have sworn it was one of those things where like he's not even coming back to like past halfway through the season, but
not sure.
I could be wrong
so.
there. I just know it was a very serious injury.
Yeah, too. Again, it could be something that lingers. We'll have to wait and see. That's why they're waiting, but not trying to go away from Trey Lance.
My point is that it still feels like a bit of a L heading into this year when it comes to that. So it just limits his time even more, and that's why it does matter that teams strike while the iron's hot. And at least in the running back position, the final thing I'll say is we could strike while this iron is hot and cheap.
Yeah, so, I mean, maybe it will be at its cheapest because it's only going to go up from here on out.
Bama fan, what's up? Much love. Thanks for rolling through. I also want to point out, I'm almost so Purdy had the TJ surgery.
Yeah, that Tommy Johnson or
something like that.
Tommy Johns. Tommy Jones? I don't know. I don't know. I know it's something like that. It's a Tommy John surgery. It's pretty serious.
I
it's like a
swear
sack
I remember
that burst
it
in
being
the elbow.
like a 9-month to a 1 year type of injury. So
I'm not sure. I don't think he's out the whole year, but maybe he's missing half the year. You might be right.
He got hurt super late into the season. It wasn't like, I'm just saying, it's one of the reasons why we were also concerned about Pollard.
Yeah.
His injury just happened to be a 6-month injury.
Right. No,
which
exactly.
put him right in the clear.
Not ligaments, more.
But yeah, Super Bowl or bust for Dak. So Mike Aldana said, yeah, it is that weird elbow.
Tommy Jones, yeah.
Injury, so
look, let's roll on the defense here. We talked a lot about the offense. It really is more of a defense. I mean, Dan Quinn's on the front of this tonight because I think it's really cool to see some of the stuff we might want to expect. We talk about the offense, but about defense. What's the key? And chaos is the key. Now, this guy's here on offense going to be facing this defense in practice every single freaking day. You got to assume that they're going to probably, go up against tougher competition in practice and sometimes against some opponents on offense. Well, Micah Parsons leading the way, of course, for our defense, and Dan Quinn's brainchild of a team here. Let me fix this here so we get Micah. There he is. Micah's he's all over the screen. That's okay. Baby, you know the video.
Yes. We
saw the video. You missed it earlier. Check it out later. Micah Parsons, guys, now he's working with the boxing, working with the weights, bulking up 255-ish, right? No more than that. Keeping that speed. We saw him beat Deuce Vaughn in the race. I'm just saying, like, he's still at the top of his game. He beat Jamar Chase in the race. So we know Micah's ready to go. He's in the sandpit training, guys. And just the chopping of the feet, the burst when he hits like a corner and pushes off. It's about squeezing the foot into the ground, pushing forward in the sand pit, where of course the ground is giving way in the sand. So when you're looking at, in a game, he's going to be that push off from his foot when he plants it and trying to work off the line of scrimmage as an edge rusher. He does this stuff also helps on the linebacker side of things, but it helps both sides. Edge rusher though, it's going to feel like the push off is going to be stronger. It is going to be stronger. So you saw him going crazy. The handwork, the boxing, the weights, the lightning quick footwork. And you saw it in this video clip now that was released by Micah. It's a longer clip. I might try to put that out tomorrow, maybe before we leave to our thing. I'm going to try to put that Micah Parsons clip out tomorrow. It's like a 2.5 minute thing, so it's much more in depth and it's interesting. So I do want to put that out there, maybe remix a little bit of the shorts off of that because there's some great points and discussion points in there. So we'll look at that.
Kind of super quickly. So I was a little bit wrong about the Purdy injury situation. He technically can start throwing after 12 weeks, but that just means that he can start rehabbing.
Right. So it's still a while away from that. How long does it take usually?
I didn't really see it all. I saw a few different timelines, so it could be anywhere from like 2 to 3 months to almost 6. It just depends on how good. But he should be back for most of the year. The one thing they did say, and pretty much everyone said it, is that once he is healed, it's one of those injuries where he's expected to be fully good to go.
Okay.
But it
it's not
sounds
a
like
thing once he's healed fully.
Once he's healed, he should be good to go. But it still means it's going to affect him into the season. There's no way around that.
Well, he got hurt against the Eagles after we unfortunately lost to the Niners. But Micah, I think this year we're going to be whoever's the quarterback for the Niners, we will be attacking with our stellar defense. But just on Micah, who's the leader of this defense, the hungry lion.
Yes.
All this stuff, guys. Now he's trying to get that quickness and that burst in his footwork. Whether it's attacking the line of scrimmage as a linebacker or trying to get around the corner, the bend, whatever it is, that acceleration, that burst, that squeezing of the foot off the ground. You watch the video, you understand. We'll give you a little more of that probably tomorrow, early morning. Tomorrow here at My Cowboys Family, we'll upload it or whatever. So just keep in mind that's important, I think, to just see the progression, the evolution, and the greatness of Micah Parsons as a Cowboy, but and eventually in this team to help everybody else get better. Now, he's working with Coach Lance Dean. Okay, and he's training now in Lucas, Texas. So again, it's very random. He's kind of going all over the place, and getting all these different kind of techniques. And Dan Quinn already signed off. He goes, this is the best damn year you're going to have. He felt watching him train and what he did in the offseason, and doing some of the training with Micah. So Micah is ready to roll. But that's the guy I'm talking about here, Dan Quinn, and he's right behind him there, guys. Because Dan Quinn, he's the leader on the field. Micah Parsons, Dan Quinn is the man when it comes to this brainchild of what we're doing here on defense. Really, we're going to try to be more consistent even than last year. So the Cowboy defense, what's the consistent thing we want to see? And I think this is, you see what the key is. In my opinion, a very big key for Dan Quinn and his defenses is chaos. just want crazy-ass chaos going on, creating issues in the backfield, in the run game or pass game. So that's chaotic simplicity, right? I think that's one of the keys here is you want to see chaos, but you want to make sure it's very easy to follow. You can throw someone in there, and they can pick it up right away with very little issue. So simplistic chaos. That's kind of describes Dan Quinn's kind of goal on defense. He mixes a lot of very standard pass coverages, a lot of different kind of pass coverages with pre-snap disguises. He's got guys moving around. I'm going to give you an example or two, but he moves guys around. When you think one guy's going to play linebacker, one guy's going to be blitzing, he drops people back as you should, but he does a lot of this. Pre-snap disguises, standard coverages, so you really can't tell what we're really going to do. And then includes in there, with that simplicity, you throw in there chaos. Chaos on the defensive line, in the trenches. The chaos from Dan Quinn, that's what he wants. His goal is, if you do that, you got an elite defense. That's the goal here. Cowboys dad talking to you on Father's Day. I agree with that mindset. And the Cowboys front office is all in on Dan Quinn's mindset here. That's what he really tells you. Like, they're ready to move on from McCarthy if he shits the bed again, in my opinion. And I mean by not getting past the divisional round.
Skeptical had asked, where's the line for McCarthy? And I do think it is NFC.
I think he gets fired if we get to the divisional round and lose. He's out of here. And anything worse.
I think we have to, that's what I'm saying. We have to make it to the NFC Championship.
Now, if we lose because...
for McCarthy to somehow keep his job, as far as, like, what's a losing scenario look like where McCarthy keeps his job?
If it's out of McCarthy's hands and we've had a hard-fought game and they've screwed us, you might see an excuse there given for McCarthy, but I think it'd be very, very difficult for him to keep a job if we don't get to the conference championship. But for us, as Cowboy fans, it's always Super Bowl, and that's 6 and beyond.
I think it was short of a major player injury during one of those games, knock on wood, I can't see a way McCarthy avoids blame. Even if it's just a series of unfortunate events, no way he doesn't.
And if he's gone, then this guy's in. Guarantee. I'm going to guarantee it. If McCarthy's gone this year, McCarthy's the head coach. They're putting all their resources, the Cowboys, front. Whether it's free agency, signing our own guys, or drafting, they're all defensive guys first, almost every single time. So Dan Quinn has not revolutionized who he is as a defensive coach. He hasn't really changed everything. He still has a lot of the. You can see the same schemes and fingerprints that he had with the Legion of Boom in Seattle. Yeah. Right? Dan Quinn, when he was the defensive coordinator there, a decade ago, 10 years ago. You can still see it on this Cowboy defense. There's some similarities. Yeah, he has a certain style, and that still sticks with him no matter where he is. The Seahawk group of defensive players were famous for being... Here's the thing. Here's the funny thing about Quinn's scheme with Seattle. They were known for being embarrassingly simple in the coverages. Dan Quinn made things so simple, like anybody can go in there day one and learn it. And that's the thing. That's one of the keys to Dan Quinn's kind of scheme here on defense. And it's not coverage like I would say, it's coverage schemes that we're talking about, not necessarily defensive pass rushing schemes.
But he makes them stupid simple.
Yes. Those teams that Dan Quinn had with Seattle in his best years ran cover one, which is man coverage. Everyone's man coverage with just cover one free safety in the middle of the field going left and right, covering the whole back end. Cover three, which we had with Richard, where you have basically 3 deep guys and 4 under guys. 4 guys here and 3 guys deep. That, usually that would, whether it's defensive backs or linebackers. But that's the way he ran a lot, cover 3. And both these things, cover 1 or cover 3, was used almost every snap with the defense of the Seattle Seahawks, Legion of Boom. In 2022, Quinn called cover. Now, this is with the Cowboys. He called cover 1, cover 3, or cover 2, which is, of course, 2 deep safety, so to speak, and 5 guys in under zone coverage. Usually, again, linebacker drops deep in the middle of the field sometimes in the cover 2. He used this with the Cowboys in 2022 on over 83% of the time. We're talking about cover 1, cover 3, or cover 2. 1, 2, or 3 safeties deep is basically what he did multiple times throughout his Cowboy career, Cowboy year of 2022. Let me put it that way, last year. 83% of the time. 83, that's a lot. These 3 coverages, just so everyone knows, if you know Madden, you would know that these are basically the most simple coverages in football. Cover 1, cover 2, cover 3. 1 safety, 2 safety, 3 safeties. Or corners that come back and play like safeties with 1 safety in the middle of the field, which we did a lot with Richard and in the end of Marinelli's tenure here with the Cowboys. So, again, when you look at these 3 coverages, most basic universal coverages used by NFL, but also called every week in middle school games, high school games, flag football games. We call these plays, and this happens all over the country. So everyone knows cover 1, 2, and 3. Every offense in the league has concepts that are designed to beat the cover 1, 2, and 3. Everybody knows what you do to beat a cover 1, 2, or 3, but yet, and this goes not just for the play designers, but the quarterbacks in the NFL, high school, college, middle school. They know, every quarterback knows how to read cover 1, 2, and 3 defense and what to expect when they face a cover 1, 2, and 3 defense. You guys feel me on this?
Yeah.
Very simple to diagnose. So why is he so successful on this? Why does Dan Quinn do so good at his cover 1, 2, or 3 defenses? Well, simple, yes, but we are still second in total defense DVOA, which is incredible when you have such simple coverages. And we're third in pass defense DVOA. And again, this is an analytical number. I'm not going to get into this. But basically, we're simple in coverage, yet we're dominating in confusing opposing offenses. The one way the Cowboys do this is by giving quarterbacks, and I said this earlier, you see it in our front cover, disguising coverages. Cowboys do a great job in giving quarterbacks false keys. So quarterback can read the defense, and there's going to be certain keys that tip off what the defense is doing.
That's a cover 3, and then all of a sudden,
a guy runs down. Now we got cover 2, and that was the plan the whole time. And that's the thing. That, again, a very interesting disguising. It seems simple. It is simple. But it's the disguises that really fuck with opposing offensive coordinators, opposing quarterbacks.
Remember, all you need is an extra second or two, or a second of indecision, or a split second change in mindset. Yeah. I don't know. Whatever.
Let's say the Cowboys would play cover 2. It shows cover 2 for the quarterback. I'm the quarterback. I see 2 safeties. So Diggs would be in the box against Cooper Kupp, he'd be guarding against the curl defender, Stefon Diggs. That's what it looks like, right? Van Der Esch, he walks over to the split out tight end, and then he covers the flat defender. So you're seeing Diggs does not stay with Cooper Kupp. It looks like it's man, but it's not. He actually is there for the curl defender. Cooper Kupp thinks, the quarterback sees him and says, "Oh, damn," with Stafford looks at him and says, I'm assuming that, Diggs is going to be on man coverage here because it's cover 2.
Yeah.
Van Der Esch, again, walking over to the tight end. Now it looks like he's in man coverage, but there's a flat defender. He turns into the flat defender. Anything thrown there, he's in zone. Micah Parsons, in these particular plays, example, he goes over, bumps over to the running back spot, and then he actually becomes the Tampa defender. So now, when you look at this, guys, Stefon Diggs starts off lined out of position in the box, in the slot, covering Cooper Kupp. That's a mismatch to the quarterback. Leighton Van Der Esch aligns wide over the tight end, and now you're thinking he's going to be on man coverage there. This tells the quarterback it's going to be a man coverage, right? Because you got Micah coming, you got Stefon Diggs coming down in man coverage, it looks like, against Cooper Kupp, and you got LVE moving over to the tight end. He looks like he's covering the tight end. This is all planned by this man right here, Dan Quinn. When you do that, guys, Van Der Esch lined over a wide split-out tight end is an example of tricking the quarterback. This tells Stafford that it's basically going to be a man coverage situation. But then as the ball is snapped, right, now the Cowboys drop to a cover 2 with the linebacker role traditionally played by the cornerback and a boundary cornerback that traditionally plays a linebacker. So they basically they switch roles basically in the snap, basically. I was saying in a drop of a hat, but that's what the whole thing there. The linebacker and the corner, they switch roles, and it trips up the freaking quarterback and offensive play callers. You just never know. I'm sorry. Go ahead, baby. I know this.
It's okay. No, it's okay. Mr. MCF is a biter tonight, so you stole Burn Bar's hat.
Oh yeah, I know, man. I'm sorry.
It's his hat.
It's a great hat. So, it's skeptical fans. Hey, I still wear it. I don't just wear it here on stream, so I rep it. But it is a great hat, and I appreciate it from the man, skeptical fan. If you send another one out, I'll send it over to freaking Burn Bar right now. No joke. So, again, much love to skeptical. Now,
so and Burn just made
I like this.
Another funny comment made me laugh. So, anyway, let's keep rolling.
If I see it. No, so listen, the other thing is this. When you see Micah Parsons, there's some, let's say an example, 3rd and 7 previous year. Micah Parsons is used as a disguise by Dan Quinn in that Niner game. I think it was a Niner game in the playoffs. McCaffrey, right? Micah Parsons was lined over McCaffrey, and McCaffrey split out. So it looks like Micah Parsons in man coverage because he walks up to him, right? He's standing in front of him. It looks like he's in man coverage against Christian McCaffrey. Then as McCaffrey goes in a kind of shifts and goes up to the line of scrimmage, Micah Parsons follows him there. So now you're definitely thinking, now not only is he only just covering him out of the backfield, now he's moving where he is, covering him face-to-face man coverage. This tells Brock Purdy, okay, this is man coverage. Now I know what I can go to here. Now I know where my receivers are going and what's going to be open. But then Micah drops back into a Tampa 2 defense with no communication from defenders. And he's able to do this, guys. This is part of the Dan Quinn defense. This is an example of the changing picture that you're getting from Dan Quinn, but using Micah Parsons' pre-snap alignment, shifting with the running back, giving all thoughts that he's in man coverage, insinuating to Brock Purdy, okay, I got a man coverage situation, and then, when the rest of the defense doesn't change, that's part of the deal here. Micah did this on a key from Dan Quinn, and he did this without anything else having to change it. So the other 10 guys didn't have to say, oh shit, Micah's going to slip back here.
Exactly.
Now they're saying, we can still do our job and focus on our job. And Micah's doing his thing, and whatever his thing is still going to work in this scheme.
You
this
can
system.
really see the Quinn influence in that.
Yeah, exactly. That's
as far as I guess Quinn evolution should be the better terminology. Just because
Quinn-elution.
Yes, the Quinn-elution. Just because you see the steps that it took to get there, and how it's still at its core is basically just the same relatively simple schemes, just dressed up. It's almost like you're showing different creative ways.
It's almost like
obviously now with the
it's almost like the Cowboys by moving Micah there. It's like they're tipping their hat to, okay, we're in man coverage. You kind of got us here. Well, the thing is this: the defense doesn't change alignment. If the defense changed alignment, Purdy would be okay. Something's happening here, and now they're in different kind of coverage. They're going to be maybe he drops in the zone. Without doing that, it's the trickery that really is the key here. And it creates chaos for the other team if done right. And that's the thing. The quarterback is thinking that it's going to be man coverage on a 3rd and long, 3rd and 7.
Yeah.
Which, with Parsons on McCaffrey, that's kind of something they might want to pick on, right, in coverage. But instead, you see him dropping back into a zone coverage, throws off the quarterback a little bit, and it forced a check down from Brock Purdy. Easy stop. They punted. Dan Quinn defense. So again, when these type of kind of tricks, tactics, disguises by Dan Quinn for this to pay off, and and to get to that elite, we're fantastic defense. To be an elite defense, these things to pay off, you have to create chaos. It's all simple. It's you're gonna have to create something major going on the other side of the trenches and the other side of the ball. So that's the thing, guys. You need a little bit more. You need some chaos. When you think of chaos that's caused by a defense, what do you think of usually? Like an all-out blitz causing havoc? An all-out blitz now. We're talking about like 7 guys blitzing or something more. You think about that with Wink Martindale. He used to be with the Ravens. Now he's with the Giants. Mm-hmm. And that's the way they cause havoc. That's the way they cause chaos, is by sending in a lot of blitzers, a lot of guys who kind of break shit up and make things difficult. Greg Williams, another guy, calling a lot of 6 or 7 man blitzes. And so these all-out blitz schemes is how you create chaos, true chaos in the backfield. But do we have to do that with our guys in Dan Quinn's scheme? Quinn is able to create this chaos, guys. This is the advantage we have over these other schemes and teams and what they're doing. Because when you look at the way that Dan Quinn is able to create chaos, it's not by blitzing. That's the key. We usually use at least 4-man pressure, at most 5-man pressure, once in a blue moon, not nearly as much as any other team in the NFL. Basically, guys, we use 4 or 5-man pressures and very traditional but very sound coverage structures. Simplistic, but yet it works when you have that chaos coming up with your 4 or 5 guys in a line of scrimmage. 207 blitzes by the Cowboys last year in 2022. 207 blitzes, right? Over 80% of those blitzes were just 5-man blitzes, all right? Another 10% were simulated pressures where a non-defensive lineman rushed, let's say Donovan Wilson, all right? Deron Bland. When they came in there and blitzed, but only 4 total players actually on the defensive line. So it's like a hidden, disguised blitz. When you see like Stefon Diggs or Donovan Wilson, Jaron Kearse coming around the corner for a sack, it's him and your basic 4 base down linemen. That's what you're bringing 5 guys. It's a blitz, but it's a simulated pressure is what it's called. It's interesting, guys, when you're looking, the way that Quinn brings the pressure and it's very disguised, very slick. That's why we've been so good on top of the players we got. So Quinn is able to do this because he has really good players up front in the passing. Now, we could talk about the run game issues. That's why Mozzie is there, Hankins and others. But we're talking about the pass rush now, the pass rush and pressure, and that's when we have such a good, deep, talented front pass rush. In Dan Quinn's scheme, it works. It works great. You create chaos. That's the key here. So when you deploy these 4 or 5 guys at a time, you're giving them a higher chance to succeed than probably most teams out there in Dan Quinn's scheme with these elevated, elite kind of players. And now you have that back end coverage. When you bring in with Trayvon Diggs, you're bringing in Stephon Gilmore, the Ron Bland, Jordan Lewis coming along hopefully sooner than later. The safeties, we have 3-headed monster safeties, and linebackers that can cover, hopefully Jabril Cox, but we got Damone Clark, LVE. Come on, Micah. Dominance over this whole defense all over the place. So, you have good players up front. You create chaos. You have more of a chance to succeed in creating chaos on defense. So, again, plays like this, you can see it all over the Cowboys tape. You watch the tape from last year. Shit, I'll put it on right now, some of the tape. Why not? Let me see. Put on, not Micah there. No. We don't have to cover. Micah's the part of this thing, but we'll show Micah. Why not? Best of last year, guys. There you go. I'm gonna put it up on the bigger screen. You can see it. Creating chaos is what Micah Parsons does, and that's what the whole plan is for this defense on every single play. 4 guys, you're seeing pressure. 4 guys, you're seeing pressure. 4 guys, you're seeing pressure.
I would give him the disruptor.
And here's 5
Micah
guys
the disruptor
in the middle. Exactly. Micah is a chaos causer. All right, and him and other guys can also help cause chaos when Micah's doing shit like this. Let's be real. So, you can see the tape, right? Defensive linemen, don't even look at Micah only. You see Osa going in there. You're seeing guys twisting, turning. You see Jaron Curse outside here. You see the different ways the Cowboys are using defensive linemen, slanting, twisting, stunting in every imaginable direction, combined with guys like Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence inside at times, right? Sam Williams as well. Also want to see him, and other guys want to see win more. But my point is this. When you are able to win your matchups like this, twists and turns and stunts, and the guys like Micah and others in the company, they're coming in there and creating chaos. Yeah. That's the other key to this Dan Quinn simplicity on coverage. It's about attacking and killing on the defensive side. That's what we got to do here, guys. So that's the key here. When you look at this creates chaos for opposing offenses, as you can see. On a regular basis, that would make us elite. The Cowboys, we play, here's the ending thing, guys. We play very simple, very sound, basic coverage structures, cover 1, 2, cover 1, cover 2, and cover 3. We dress it up with some false flags and false keys, some window dressing, kind of what you said, baby. And we create chaos, as you're seeing here, led by Micah Parsons. With our high level of talent in the trenches on the defensive line, multiple fronts, and multiple pressure looks up front against the offensive lines, opposing offensive lines, and opposing quarterbacks, offensive coordinators, and they wind up in a big heap of trouble. That's the whole point here. Look at this. It's just coming from all over. It's everything going on. It's the chaos. The disruption, it's more than that. It's chaos. You see Micah throwing guys around that are bigger than him by 50, 60 pounds. Chaos, baby. That, with the simple coverages, that's what Dan Quinn's scheme is all about. That's what this whole thing is about, guys. Going forward in this on this defense, getting better. We talked about the offense over and over again, the changes in this and that. How about what we're going to see here, really, and what we've seen from Dan Quinn and this defense? Fantastic. Again, Doomsday 3.0. Because the 90s was 2.0.
Yes.
And now it's 3.0. Micah all by himself almost right there on that. So anyways.
Got the toxic juice. What's up? Saying Micah is a motherfucking man.
Hell yeah, he is. He is. He's a monster. And that's just last year. I could go back to 2021 and show you more monster film there. Really? So, I mean, okay, she's bashful now.
I know. She wanted to sleep on me for a second. So,
that's all I got for the night, guys. We're calling it a night, and I think we're going to almost about to call it the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes when we wrap this up. Looks like Snug X is going to sneak in there and get that Mark Hovsepian Sponsor of the Week. Mark's been holding that crown. Much love to Mark Hovsepian, but it looks like it's passing over to Snug X, and Snug's going to go with the full takeover here. Leaving Mark Hovsepian, though, with 30 points in the stream, boss, so he hangs on to that. But Snug X, if he holds on to this, he's this Cash App king back-to-back like our 90s Cowboys, and he steals. He takes away at the last second Mark Hovsepian's Sponsor of the Week title. So, again, all because of the very beautiful wife here next to me. Appreciate the love for the channel and the star over everything. So, Snug X looks like the guy taking over there, right? Skeptical fan, much love to him. He's got the, by the way, we didn't shout out the star level members, but we always get them shouted out here. Skeptical fan, star level member. Dwayne Broussard, star level member. LC, star level member. And Mary Alvarez, star level member. Appreciate you guys. All. Yes. Sorry for the late shout-outs, but we always get them under the gun. And, again, skeptical fan with the membership gifting. He's got a bigger lead now, widening his lead for the month against Jason Renfro. I just want to give the shout-outs there, baby. And remind everybody to hit that thumbs up, that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Keep growing the family here on MCF. And, of course, hit the notification bell so you know when we're going live on the nightly. Of course, the next 4 nights. We'll talk about that one more time, but it's bon voyage for about 4 nights here as far as internet capabilities, and we'll be back at it on Friday of next week. So, yes. But anyways, 4-day break from us. You probably like that. We're still going to bug you guys with a couple of videos between, the next 4 days or so.
Yes, and of course, occasionally touching base a little bit maybe.
Yeah, but what is it going to be? It's going to be
a lot more of an MCW flavor.
It's a
Some
quickie.
Cowboy Quickies
Yeah.
are heading your way these next few days. So
yeah, check that out.
And this was not necessarily supposed to be a Cowboy Quickie, but it was definitely supposed to be, I think, a little shorter today. We obviously got I'm just saying, we didn't have as many things to discuss. Obviously, we got into more discussions today.
Yeah, it was a great
discussion.
That's
why we stopped calling them Cowboys in 30 and all that, because
I'll still try once in a while, but
we know ourselves now at this point. Let's not pretend.
We talk too much.
So
no, guys,
I'm gonna go ahead and do the final shout outs.
Do the shout outs, yes. And put those
huge
comments.
Shout out to all of you guys here chilling, hanging with us. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us anywhere and everywhere at MyCowboysFamily as far as social media. So,
and of course, appreciate everybody here in the memberships that join in here. Drop them if you got them. Emojis again during the season. We change them all the time, but we change them definitely every week in the season to represent the opponent coming up and the hate not the hate, but the response to hate that we have to have in our arsenal at times every week against our new opponent, and that goes for everybody here, right? Every team.
Yes, Rolando Rodriguez. Have a great night. Thank you. Of course. SnugX said, I'm a Cowboy fan, but I'm not here every night for Cowboy news. So.
I know. I get. Sometimes you are, though. Sometimes. Listen, happy Father's Day to everybody. Cowboys dad here telling you that.
Huge shout out to all the dads out there.
Yeah.
And all the father figures as well. So,
let's go.
Bruce got the toxic juice. Much love. Skeptical fan, of course. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you, Skeptical.
Membership man.
Yeah, the membership gifter, the membership, he's in, and he's got the shirt here.
We're ripping it all over. We're ripping our Cowboys the skeptical way, right?
Yes, always staying skeptical for the man.
So, Landlord from Wakanda, hello and hi. Of course, Burn Bar, much love to you.
Come on.
We have, who else is
Get
here?
us one of these houses.
Brandon James Shea, thanks for coming with us, hanging with us, right? Mike Aldana, representing. We have Bama Fan in the house, that person you know, of course. Eric Wallace, have a great evening. Lost in Translation Podcast, much love.
Yeah, much love. By the way, big shout out to Skeptical Fan. I think he's going to actually get the hat to Burn Bar.
Oh, that's really awesome.
That'd be great, man. That'd be, that's fire.
If that happens, Burn, do us a favor. I don't know if you have social media or anything like that, but just, if you don't mind, take a picture of it.
I've seen Burn before. He's very secretive about his look, though. So
you can put a sticker over your face or something. I don't know.
I guess,
that's what I'm saying. I don't care. Just send us a picture of
you repping it, man. Let's go.
Wearing the hat, even if you are incognitoing yourself. It's all good. You don't have to dox yourself.
So, real shit.
Chris Plumage, have a great night. Take it easy. Let me see. Retro Scotty, much love. Let's see who else is here.
Some TTC, trash talk stuff going on.
Let me see. I think, as far as I can tell, it's as far back as I can go. So let me come back down. Just make sure.
Great discussion. Lively. Lively for the finale, right?
Here, so, baby, why do we do?
Well, first, because, Marco Seppian, just want to make sure, sponsor of the week now, passing that baton over the man with the plan. We know why he's here. SnugX.
So
who's
he
also
still holds on to that Stream Boss, though.
Yeah, Marco Seppian's 30 points in the Stream Boss, and Skeptical Fans got 31 for the month over Jason Renfro 17. SnugX this week has the takeover, baby. Cash App King now back-to-back like our 90s Cowboys. And he's doing, and by the way, it's for 2 weeks now. So SnugX with the takeover for this upcoming week and then the full week of the following week. So, man, SnugX, he's the man.
Yes.
Appreciate him.
And don't forget, guys, in case you didn't hear at the beginning of the stream, we will be visiting some family and out of town for the next few days. So we will be live streaming once again on Friday. Yes. But in the meantime, we'll have a few videos and things
the wife's Cowboy Quickies. Don't miss them. Make sure you hit the like on those videos. Share these videos out, guys. These live streams. Share the videos out. Comment. And get the analytics going. And we'll answer as many as we can when we are getting internet sporadically throughout the next 4 days. It would be very rare we get on the internet. So it's just... make sure you leave your 2 cents. When we come back and we get back on the internet, we want to make sure we hear from you guys. So keep it coming. Show the love and appreciate every single one of you guys. You can still, if you guys enjoy those quickies, you can drop thanks in those videos the way Rainbow Star and Skeptical Fan do as well. You can give love there. It could be 2, 5, 10, 20, whatever. I'm just saying there's other ways you can give thanks through and support the channel through not live streams, not just memberships, but there's also those thanks drops you can give in there, which we add into the mix. As you can see, we rep you guys always because you guys are the sponsors of this channel. You guys run the show. The family runs the show. So thank you all truly from the bottom of our hearts. And
taking time out of your days, your nights.
10 days away, right? For like 10 days away or 2 weeks away.
6 years MCF anniversary
and beyond. 6 year anniversary on YouTube. So it's coming up here, guys. That'll be a party stream. Stay tuned for that as well. On that note, yes, it is time. I think everyone's been shouted out in the chat.
Everyone, take it easy. Have a great night. But baby, yes, why do we do what we do?
I think you know why. It's about that navy blue, silver too. As you can see it right there, right up here. It's that star over everything, guys. Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. Here on this channel, we always rep this star over everyone, every coach, every player, every owner in this team. It's the star over everything. So appreciate all your love and support for our channel. By the way, coming up that 6 years on July 1st on YouTube. But here on My Cowboys Family, don't forget the #1 thing here, now and forever. As always, never forget. Go Cowboys! Let's get that 6 and beyond. Guys, thank you for dropping your knowledge in that chat over there all night long. Appreciate your drops of love from above, your support. SnugX taking this full takeover here outside of the stream boss. Shouting out Dwayne Broussard, SnugX, Skeptical Fan, 2 gifted memberships. Can't do this, guys, not just without your drops of knowledge, but your drops of love. So thank you. Appreciate you guys. And we'll definitely see you here very soon on Friday. Back at it. So on that note, baby, before we can officially drop out, clock out for the night, relock and reload in 4.5 days or so for another one here in My Cowboys Family. And don't forget those Cowboy Quickies.
That's right.
Before we can drop out of here for the night, baby, I need some permission from you. What do we got to do before we drop out?
I think I'll allow it this time.
Okay, on Father's Day. Before we drop out, what do we got to do? Tell everybody.
We got to drop the beat.
Hell yeah. Let's go, guys. Much love.
Now you can make me that sandwich.
Coming right up. Coming right up. As we do the last packings and things and you blow dry your hair for our nice little family time here around the corner. Guys, let me put that away there. Guys, thank you once again. We're always repping that star. I'll be repping the star the entire time. You'll see. I'm sure you guys will see pictures or something. But guys, thank you again for repping it with us. Remind every single Eagle fan out there some basic mathematics. Some basic mathematics and facts. First, of course, remember these guys are coming for you on offense and defense. But also, never forget some basic math, no matter where you are on this Earth, planet, or universe. Remind every single Eagle fan, 5 is always greater than 1. Hell yeah. Cry, Eagles, motherfucking cry. That's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah, guys. And another great one here. I think another great, on-camera live stream. Thank you all for rocking with us here, as always, on the Nightly for another Cowboys chat. Dak, MVP underdog, dark horse, maybe so. Tony Pollard getting signed, maybe so. Extension, we'll see. Dan Quinn defense, you know it. Elite, we're coming forward. We're knocking on that door. We'll talk more about this in this upcoming week and beyond, guys. Can't wait here in MCF. You know the deal. It's always about that navy blue, that silver too, and you know it. That star over everything. Never, ever forget the #1 thing right here in My Cowboys Family. Much love to everybody. Have a great night. Stay safe. Have a great next couple of days. 4 or 5 days. We'll be back at it on Friday. Enjoy the Cowboy Quickies from the wife. And guys, never forget, ever forget, Go Cowboys!